Good morning, everyone. My name is Ana Valencia, and I will be speaking today on behalf of TUE Innovation Space and my research team. In today's presentation, we will share with you a framework we developed for inter-program challenge-based learning design, which uses intended learning outcomes, or ILOs, as a starting point to develop constructively aligned challenge-based learning experiences. But before we go into the framework, let me tell you some more about the context of our research. And for this, I would like to make use of a scenario. Kim is a third-year biomedical engineering student at TUE. Kim is about to graduate, and to do so has joined the Innovation Space Bachelor End Project, or ISBEP. ISBEP is an alternative for students who wish to graduate in an interdisciplinary team at TUE. Kim's team is composed of a biomedical engineer, a mechanical engineer, and an industrial designer. And for the last 5 months, Kim and her team have worked on an open-ended real-life challenge brought in by a local hospital. Throughout the project, Kim's team has interacted with ISBEP coaches who overlooked the interdisciplinary aspects of the project, academic coaches who oversaw the disciplinary development of individual students, and the challenge owner who provided valuable input and resources for the project. Kim's project is coming to an end, and the team is proud of the results. For Kim, ISBEP has been a formative experience. Through the interdisciplinary project, Kim has developed her professional skills, such as the ability to communicate with students from other disciplines. The project has also allowed Kim to dive into topics of relevance to her discipline. Kim feels confident about her performance and her professional growth. Unfortunately, Kim's assessment does not develop in the way she expects. Kim is assessed following the assessment procedures of a traditional final bachelor project within her program, which is not interdisciplinary. Members of her examination committee do not fully understand the breadth of Kim's learning. Her academic coach intervenes and provides some context for the assessment. After long deliberations and after providing further evidence, Kim's project is finally approved. Kim's graduation is bittersweet. She believes her assessment should have better reflected the learning outcomes of her graduation project. This scenario illustrates the experience of a graduating student from ISBEP. ISBEP is a challenge-based learning initiative set up and coordinated by TUE Innovation Space. Challenge-based learning is currently a central topic at TUE, which sees this approach as effective in developing both students' broader skills and content knowledge. A key characteristic of ISBEP is that it is inter-program. This means that several educational programs with distinct learning goals and regulations for assessment, for example, collaborate to set up challenge-based learning experiences like the one we just described. Setting up inter-program challenge-based learning experiences is challenging. Among others, the different needs of the different programs involved can lead to discrepancies between perceived learning outcomes and assessment criteria, as we saw with Kim. We reported on these and other challenges associated with inter-program challenge-based learning at CEFI 2020. Achieving alignment across the institution, we concluded then, for example, on intended learning, is key in achieving inter-program challenge-based learning education that is effective. Our presentation today follows up on our previous work and elaborates on our efforts during the last year to increase the constructive alignment of intended learning outcomes, assessment, and learning and teaching activities within ISBEP. We present a framework for inter-program challenge-based learning design in engineering education using ISBEP as a case, and the framework focuses on ILOs as a starting point for educational design towards constructive alignment. The framework resulted from a co-creation workshop. The goal of the workshop was to arrive to new ILOs for ISBEP, which could serve as the basis for its constructively aligned redesign. In terms of participants, we invited different stakeholders like students, educators, program directors to stimulate alignment across the institution. And 3 questions, which acted as a funnel from general to specific, guided these discussions, leading to the key question of what should the intended learning outcomes of ISBEP be? The analysis of our data was inductive and resulted in a framework that lists 10 ILOs related to 3 areas of learning and 7 competence areas. The identified competencies and related ILOs are defined in terms of knowledge, skills, and attitudes that students are expected to develop. Overall, the framework points to the development of both disciplinary knowledge and broad professional skills as key in this educational context. Competencies related to the design and research process, such as defining problems, need finding, and prototyping, remain a central part of the ILOs associated with ISBEP. The command of disciplinary knowledge is important at the third-year high-stakes bachelor level, but framed in relation to the interdisciplinarity of the project. For example, in the competence systems thinking, where the students should integrate the domain knowledge from the different disciplines within the team to find solutions to societal challenges. The development of broad professional skills relates particularly to the process along the project. An example is students learning to manage the open-end problem for which there is no clear answer or solution. Reflecting on learning was also flagged as important. When finalizing ISBEP, graduates are expected to have a better account of their identity as engineers in relation to other engineers. Furthermore, we provide examples of learning activities from practice within ISBEP to illustrate our first steps in increasing constructive alignment based on the defined ILOs. In sum, the framework was valuable as a first step in reaching alignment across the institution and facilitating discussions around the redesign of ISBEP. Our advice in designing similar initiatives is to co-create challenge-based learning with different stakeholders and to involve students in this process whenever possible. An important limitation of our work is that the findings are linked to our institutional culture and vision on education. The framework can be used as an inspiration for discussing the intended learning of new challenge-based learning initiatives, but the institution's culture and vision on education should be considered. Moreover, we have linked learning activities from ISBEP to exemplify how this alignment can be reached. However, these learning activities should be validated. Our next steps focus on assessment, particularly on defining performance indicators that strengthen the link between ILOs and learning activities and assessment practices. Our goal is to design learning experiences for students such as Kim, which are perceived as valuable and coherent by students and educators alike along the three elements of constructive alignment. Thank you very much for your attention.